Welcome to the place where you're in the microphone and I'm at a desk. I'm your host, Emmett Gray, and we are here for the very first inaugural episode of Desk Talk. Welcome, everybody. Now, today we have two wonderful, I guess they'd be co-hosts with me, cast members, whatever you want to call them.
The co-host with the most.
We got Scotty with the body.
To coast.
As you can hear.
Literally.
It's true. He's
Scotty
it
with
is
the body.
coast to coast. It's Scotty with a body. Nobody can forget Scoots. He's always my rock. He always comes and chills in all of the live streams with me. I just gotta be like, Scoots,
that's right.
come on. As long as Meg's not naked on a camera somewhere, we're good.
Not lying.
And then we got Destin. He's like a brother to me at this point, and I've known him for entirely too long, and somehow we're still friends because he's seen all my crazy sides and he's still here. So something's either really wrong with him,
because you won't let him out of the closet.
I've been replaced 3 times.
Hey, we don't talk about that on the. All
We
right,
don't
let's
talk
move
about
on.
Dustin 1 through 2.
Yeah, they were defective and gay. This one's semi-straight, but he's a virgin. I don't know.
And that's why we
I
keep
don't
him
know.
locked in the closet so he doesn't escape.
Exactly. That's why the god of locks just keeps him there. It's fine. But that's a topic for another show. But anyway, so what you beautiful people may be asking yourself is, what the fuck is this, Emmett? What? You have a podcast? What is this hour-long bullshit video you just put up on YouTube? Well, you see, I have a podcast. Again, this one's not
Hour long, I'm out. I'm gone.
Hey,
You'll have my papers in the morning.
no. You either stay with us or you go back in the closet.
Do you want a grilled cheese or not?
Don't threaten me with a grilled cheese. I will gladly take grilled cheese.
Wait, is it a Swiss scoop grilled cheese?
How the fuck did you know that?
Delicious.
Oh,
Okay.
he's like, you talked me into it. You got an hour.
Go.
Cool, 3 hours it is.
Sweet mother.
So, what is Desk Talk? Desk Talk is a mix of Good Mythical Morning and the Joe Rogan Experience with my outlandish sense of humor. Basically, it's like I threw a bunch of shit in a blender and decided to see what would come out.
Some pretty liquid poop.
It's pretty liquid. But, so what that means basically is there'll be a main topic for the first portion of the fucking episode. I can't speak apparently. And for the rest of the episode, it'll be like kind of current events and stories and just hanging out basically. And we'll just have fun and have a conversation and see what happens. And the minimum you'll see one of these episodes will be about an hour. The max will be about 3 hours, depending on if we just have a bunch of conversations going and it keeps going. We'll cut it off at 3 hours just so it doesn't get crazy long, even though that is pretty crazy long. But that's about podcast length. That's a decent enough length, I think, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. So, with that being said, there will be a lot of cast members in this said podcast. This first week, I kind of just wanted the homies. I tried getting some other people here, but, schedules don't work out when you're trying to do it at the last minute. Like, I always do everything, which is fine. But, so, the way everything is going to work is there's a Discord for this specific podcast. And anyone who is fans of mine, or fans of Dustin's, or Scoots, or any of the other cast members can go in there.
No one loves me.
Shut up, Scoots. I'm throwing your Twitter in the description. Do you have a
What?
Twitter?
No.
Do you have an Instagram? Fuck. Would you have anything?
No.
I'm throwing your YouTube channel in the description.
Yes, you could be one of the millions to subscribe to somebody who doesn't have any content whatsoever. Since
I'm just
God
gonna
knows
find the
back.
Exactly. But anyway, so the meeting point for all of our communities will be the Desk Talk Discord server, and people who want to recommend topics or news stories that they want us to talk about can go in there, throw it into one of the tabs. With that being said, we're gonna get to our main topic today, and our main topic is gaming
disorders.
There you go. See, Scoot's got it. So,
Because that's medically announced that it is a thing now.
yeah. So, the World Health Organization this year decided to put out a new disorder in their International Classification for Diseases encyclopedia. And that disorder is gaming disorder. CNN did an article on this to break the news to the world. And CNN quoted video games being as addictive as digital heroin is what they called it. They said it is that video games can be as addictive as heroin. This is CNN we're talking about, which is not the best source for news, but they works. They get it right sometimes. Okay?
Every once in a blue moon.
Or a black moon, I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's 2018, the internet. You can't do that.
I mean, that's the other thing about this.
Technically, yeah.
You can say whatever the fuck you want on
What?
here, it doesn't matter.
What about new moons? You don't like
Damn
new moons?
Damn it.
Damn.
I don't understand. Did we do it? Did we blow up the moon? Are there no more new moons anymore?
We blew up the third moon. There's
All
3
the
of them.
moons.
Shit.
Like, oh god. Alright. So, this is obviously controversial, not only in the gaming community, but in the psychologists don't like it. There's a lot of psychologists who think that it is impossible to diagnose something as
You
complicated
play
as a
20
gaming
hours of
disorder.
video games a day, and then there's other people who are actually like streamers, like, you fucking chumps. That ain't shit.
Exactly. That's one of the things this article did say. 20 hours a week is considered possible gaming disorder. And there are 3 main criteria for diagnosing gaming disorder. And I'm going to list those off, and we'll talk about them as I list each one. So the first one is gaming takes priority over all aspects of life to the point where the games are the only thing that the person is focused on and is the only thing that the person will carry out throughout their day. So that's really broad though, because if you are on a professional gaming team, you have to put in, like a normal person puts in for work, an 8 to 12 hour day, you have to put that much time in to stay good at the game and stay relevant, right? So it's like, how can you... That really kind of dicks over a lot
That
of
grinds
people.
my gears,
You know what really grinds my gears?
right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that's kind of... It makes sense, though. I understand that. But it kind of goes with the second... I think it goes more with the second thing. The second thing is impaired control over these behaviors. Even when the subject gets in trouble for gaming too much, their behavior escalates instead of de-escalating. And that's... I mean... If you're a kid and your mom tells you not to listen to a certain type of music, you're going to find a way to do it. But I mean, if it's really affecting your health, then you should probably do something about it. So the main reason why this was... The news article that broke before this was a 7-year-old girl who played Fortnite so much, her dad came in and she was sitting on a pillow that was soaked in piss and shit because she refused to leave her TV.
Okay, yeah, man.
So stop. So this is when the World Health Organization kind of stepped up and said, we're gonna put this as a disorder, and now other places around the world are putting up in rehab sections for gaming disorder patients, and the patients range anywhere from the age of 11 to the age of 35 is about the age range right now, and it's like, couldn't slot machines be in that too? Because I think they should be included in this. I'm just saying, that's a game.
I mean, if for 11-year-old, you need to honestly, you just need a better goddamn parent. When I was a kid and played too much video games, I don't know if you recognize it, remember it, but like parents like, we're taking this and it's going away.
Yeah.
Just like-
I didn't have video games like I didn't play video games till I got into high school and I bought my own stuff. Like I never really had them, and even if when I did, it was very much like, oh, you've played for like an hour, cool, you go outside for the next 12.
Or else I'm locking this in the safe. And
Yeah,
for, like, a
no,
week.
or no, mine was I'm giving it to your brother and he can do whatever he wants with it. I'm just like, what? So it was very much, don't get me wrong, I did play quite a bit of video games in a low-key way. But like when I was a kid, but not like today where, a 7-year-old can spend a 12-hour session on fucking Fortnite without moving. Like, come on. That's some I have a hard time playing a game for that long and not moving. And I've been doing it for a while, and I stream. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of harsh, but I mean, it is a very different world I think we do live in
That, and who does not check on their daughter or son?
for that long. That's a long time.
Exactly.
That's
I
very
mean,
negligent. In
it
my
could-
opinion,
it
that's
could
very
be
negligent.
a single, like it could be like a single parent.
No, it was a husband and wife, and the dad walked in on her like that, so I don't know what it was. So
Okay.
I mean, there's so much into that, obviously, but it's like, really, how negligent do you have to be to not notice this? Oh, we haven't seen little Lilia in a while. It's I better go check. Oh my God, it smells like pee in here. Come on. Like, I don't know. That's some interesting things. So it makes sense if it's that.
Listen,
That
that kid got on a 20 win streak, and she just wasn't leaving.
I mean, would you? Like, if I'm on a 20 win streak, I ain't going anywhere.
No, but that's a problem.
I haven't been on a win streak in a long time on fucking Fortnite. I'll give you that. But yeah, that's kind of hard though. I can't. There's a lot into that parent that probably should have been done. But other people like people who like nowadays nobody ever leaves the house. Obviously, it seems like, and there's a lot of like people in their 20s living with their parents, and their parents are trying to classify them with this to get them institutionalized and out of their house. That's super fucked up. How much do you have to hate your child to do that? Like, I don't know. That's an extreme that I could never take if I had a kid. But whatever. Some people are weird. Okay. And the last condition is that the condition leads to significant distress, impairment on your personal life, your family, your social life, or your educational opportunities, as well as an impairment on your health.
Educational
to your well-being.
Educational opportunities. That's just some parent pissed. That kid doesn't want to
Yeah.
go out and play like, oh, go, Timmy, you're going to go join the soccer club. Fuck you, Mom. I don't want to join the soccer club. Like video.
Yeah, until he finds out all the people in the soccer club play Fortnite together, and then he's like, "I'm there, Ma. I'll be the
I'm going to
goalie."
practice. You can't stop me.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing too. I think with games as popular as they are now, I mean, even like 5 years ago, do you remember this many people who didn't play games before coming into gaming for one game only? Like, has this ever happened that you remember?
I mean, it depends. Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon was kind of ridiculous.
Pokemon was one of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Pokemon was definitely
Pokemon
one
was,
of those.
I know,
But it wasn't on this scale. Like, this has taken over everything.
I mean, it depends. Like, so,
Was Pokemon ever on like the mainstream news though for
yes,
the amount of people
yes. Oh, yes.
Dude,
I don't
Pokemon
remember.
Go recently was like that.
Oh yeah, I remember
well,
that. Do you
so-
remember the video of the people playing Pokemon Go and it was like 10,000 people walking through the streets?
In New York, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was fucking nuts. I remember like in the height of Pokemon Go was when I was into it.
original Pokemon, when the Game Boy came out, like there was that, and then that spread Pokemon trading cards, which there would be straight on like fist fights across like schoolyards.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I used to get in
I
fist fights all the time. I used to steal
And
people's
then
cards.
stuff about that would hit the news, and then
Yeah,
it'd
my
be
school was like,
it'd be like preachers
not allowed
would
to
have
have
like whole sermons about like Pokemon's the devil.
I do remember that. Didn't that, I remember hearing a sermon like that because I was raised very religious, and it was like I remember going to church one day. Actually, now that you said it, I had completely forgotten about this, and I'm going to tell this story now. And I remember this preacher getting up there and being like, and this priest is just like, "Pokemon's the devil. If your children play it, they're going to hell. They're all going to burn in hell if you don't stop them now. You got to correct them and put them on the right path of Jesus." And I'm like, "What? I don't want to go to hell." It's like I just remember all of my shit getting taken away because it was like this big deal at the time. I had forgotten about all this. Gosh. Yeah, I remember that. That's a big deal. But like, it's super mainstream now to play Fortnite. Like, celebrities are doing it. Like, it's very much just a thing now. It's a thing everywhere. President Obama plays it, I'm sure. You know? It's like, what? That's pretty crazy. But so this this gaming disorder thing, it makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense. One of the other things is, though, too, the behavior of the symptoms have to all be present and have to last more than 12 months. So that makes sense, right?
It means I've had this shit since I was little.
Yeah, me too. I've had this for like 10 years.
Thank you, Super Nintendo.
Right?
Making me a sickly
Don't even
person.
get me started. Right? But this has gotten backlash in both the gaming and the psychologist communities because it's like the symptoms they put are very broad. And it kind of classifies everyone who plays video games more than casually as having gaming disorder. Because, like, if we're talking about in our friends group who doesn't have gaming disorder, there isn't anyone. We all play at least 40 hours a week. Like, I play, like, I go to work and I'm still playing games. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus. I don't know. What do you guys think about all this? Do you think it's a good thing?
It's a hit or a miss, to be honest. Like I said, you know, as long as parents are on top of their children and they limit and do it right, it's not a gaming disorder. Now, if you tried to go in there and your kid's just like combating you and there's nothing else, then yeah, that's a situation. That's a whole different story.
Right. And it's at the same time, too, what a lot of this comes down to is, like, just be a fucking parent.
Yeah, pretty much.
How hard is it? You don't want your kids watching fucked up shit on YouTube? Maybe pay a fucking attention to what they're watching on YouTube, you stupid fucks. Like, come on. You don't want your kid playing for 20 hours a day? Actually look into what your child's doing all fucking day instead of just sitting on the couch and watching fucking Netflix. Like, come on. It's not hard, and it's not like these things can't be monitored, and it's not like nowadays it's even easier because they have apps and they have websites that you can do this with, and you can limit how much data gets put into like one device, and you can see what your kid's doing constantly. It's just like, what? It's not hard to be a parent. You just gotta do it. You gotta put in the work. Like, come on. Come on. But no. Now we have this gaming disorder thing. Now everybody and their mother sends me things all the time. Like, hey, you have gaming disorder. I'm like, no, no shit. But also, yeah, 20 hours a week, that's a pretty casual gamer. Like,
That's pretty normal.
that's pretty casual, though, for, like, a gaming.
Yeah.
Because what, I mean, I put in, like, probably a good 80 a week.
Yeah, but that's after, you know, you include our jobs and everything. That's like our spare time hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Like 100%. So it's like, I don't know. Still, I think more research and more classification need to be put into this before they were just like, oh, God, witch hunt. We're going to fucking, everybody's got gaming disorder. We're going to put them all in institutions. Like, no, fuck off. You can't just do some shit like that and expect to get away with it. It's not okay. It's not okay. But, yeah. So how's life been for you guys? What's going down in the life? What are you excited for this summer? What do you got planned?
Fallout 76.
That should be.
Talk
I
about
imagine
it,
I'm going to be playing that with Scooch some. Quite a bit.
I'll play it at some point. Like I said, I need to get caught up in the Fallout series, which requires me playing Fallout 4, which will happen eventually.
We'll just need to sit down and do it one of these days.
I'm down. We should.
Do you have it installed?
I have Fallout 4 installed.
I can't have it installed till like tomorrow.
Just start installing it, and then we'll do a thing like tomorrow. We can all play Fallout together.
I'm so down for that. It'd be nice if I was streaming by then. In theory, my fix should be, my potential fix should be here tomorrow. So let's see what happens. But yeah, that's Fallout 76 seems like a good game. What are the games y'all looking forward to? You Red Dead fans, either of you?
I've never played a Red Dead game.
Yeah, I must say I never played one either.
Oh, they're really good. The original's really good. Red Dead Redemption, it was just really well done. Second one looks interesting. I don't know how to feel about it yet. From what I've seen from the trailer, I feel like I'm not gonna like it. And
Like
I
right-
hate to say that because it's a really good game.
Like right now, I'm getting my Conan Exiles on right now.
One of my buddies keeps trying to get me. She's like, "You need to come play with me, Ahmed."
Is it like
Like, I
free
don't
or is
know.
it?
No, it's on sale.
How much?
Yeah, it's so. That's the other thing. I've been trying to avoid Steam. The Steam summer sale's on right now. I will spend my
Yeah, I
whole
got
fucking
Fallout.
paycheck.
I got Fallout New Vegas.
I have
I have
Fallout
all
New
the
Vegas
Fallouts.
too. I love Fallout New Vegas.
I'm doing my first playthrough of that, so
I think it's the worst Fallout.
it's a lot better than.
Fallout New Vegas ruined the whole series for me.
I hated 3. Or I didn't hate it. I just
3 was
didn't
pretty
enjoy
bad. 3 already had me on like the I don't know if I want to play anymore. And then New Vegas came, and I was just like, oh god, they fucking ruined it. Like they had a good thing going in 1 and 2.
So tell me about this Conan game.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm
Ark,
curious.
but Conan the Barbarian.
Is it free? Or not
No.
free, but is it multiplayer?
Yeah, it's it's like Ark, open server, people
wanna-
everywhere,
you wanna play
clans.
You want to play some?
I'm playing right now. I'm murdering people and stealing shit.
I mean, look,
Hell yeah. Yeah, Conan seems pretty fun. I feel like I'd have a lot of fun in something like that.
I mean, you get to be your own Conan the Barbarian, and you even get to make how big your penis is or your boobs.
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Like literally, it's savage.
Would you get a penis enlargement or reduction if you had to?
Definitely an enlargement.
so like, can you have like private things where like it's just
Private servers, you mean?
Yeah. You have solo mode and everything.
So if I get this, you want to play some?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm playing right now.
Yeah, Scoots, you play a lot of that. You play that in Dead by Daylight so much. I'm not that big of a fan of Dead by Daylight because I'm really bad at the game. Those skill checks get me every time.
Okay, it's installing.
I'm a proud dad. What other games are really good coming out? You guys Last of Us fans?
I've seen gameplay of that. It looks pretty good.
If you've never played through The Last of Us, I do recommend it highly. I've played through it probably 10 times.
Conan Exile. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, friends who
It's-
have the game, and then I just saw Gerald, and I didn't see you. I'm like, oh, did I get the wrong? It's like, oh yeah, Scoot has it. It's in his library. I'm like, fuck.
That's funny. Yeah, if you've never played The Last of Us, play it at some point in your life. It is worth it.
I didn't like that game. I got bored.
Wow. How?
It just doesn't
What's-
like hold
what's
my
the big
attention.
reason? That's so strange. It's the
Like
complete
so,
opposite for me.
like
It's so intoxicating.
well, I'll play it and then I'll get lost. Like it's like okay, you have to.
Oh
make
yeah,
it to
that
this
was my
point.
biggest complaint. That
And
was my biggest
And
complaint.
then I'll get lost, and then I'll just be like, I don't know where to go, and I just like I'm getting bored, and I'll just get bored. And then there'll be levels where there's talking about like stuff, and then it's just like, oh, you have to spend like 40 minutes. So the getting lost doesn't help. So normally it'd be like, 10 minutes to get through this like little section where it's just the two of us like thinking about puzzles and getting through this section. But I'll get turned around and lost. So it'll be like 40 minutes to an hour for me to get through this like one little like session. Like I remember there was like a water section section where like you
That's
had to float
yeah.
on top of things. I got lost or turned around. I was on
That-
that
well,
for like 40 minutes. I'm just like I hate this.
Mhm. Well, what it is, that one I got lost too. You have to go underwater through like 3 different trains, and it's like a maze. It's literally a maze. So they make it super easy for you to get lost, which sucks. And that's the thing that was always my biggest complaint. There are no waypoints in that game, and every area is massive, but you really don't have an idea where you're going at all. So it's very much like it can take a while to find your way around, but when you do know your way around, oh, I think it's a great game. I
but, like,
personally love the game.
I couldn't get into it.
The game is very watch somebody like speedrun it. Honestly,
That's fair. Like I just
It's a very enjoyable
It's a pretty
game.
looking game. It just
Bless your face.
Mm.
All right, guys. This is the best part. We're gonna get into some controversial topics.
All right.
You ready?
Controversy.
We're going into news. We're gonna go into the news. Immigration issue this past couple of weeks. You guys into it?
I haven't been
Listen.
following it. Explain it.
Scooter, you been following it?
Yeah, it's been on the TV in here quite a lot.
Okay. So
With the
Basically
families and everything.
Yep. So
What's
basically, what's been happening, Dustin, is. So I'm gonna explain this the way the news explains it, and then I'm gonna explain it from the point of having worked in corrections and knowing how these situations are actually handled, and in comparison to before the Trump presidency and after, because
Okay.
there is a big difference.
Well, once you explain, I'll put in my tips in.
Okay. So basically what's happening is ICE, which is who goes and arrests illegal immigrants, has been exporting at an insane rate. Not only are they doing this, they're exporting entire families together, children, little kids, and they're separating these kids purposely. And the kids will go to one facility and the parents will go to another, and they'll be completely on the opposite sides of the border. And so basically, they're treating both sides like shit is what happened. And this is how there's a lot of suicides, there's a lot of death that has happened, there's a lot of kids who have been hurt and like abused in sexual ways and in just physical, just bad. A lot of bad shit has been happening, and it came to the attention of the media, and the media ran with it, and it is a big deal. I do agree. So Donald Trump put out first. Donald Trump's stance on the entire thing was that he couldn't do anything, and this was just the way things were going to have to be. And then not even 8 hours later, there was an executive order put out by President Donald Trump that prohibited the separation of families. But the kicker of how that executive order came out was he didn't say another word about the topic until United Airlines and American Airlines refused to transport illegal immigrants for the U.S. government and threatened to pull their contracts away from the government to transport these people. And then something was done about it.
So, before we get into new information, let's just avoid Donald Trump and like just saying this from a business standpoint. Like when things like normally like systems start going like quickly and going up way too fast, like ICE or like what ICE was doing most likely. It's hard to change the system once it's running at full. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
Going,
no, I agree 100%.
like,
I agree 100%.
Like going
The
up and
system
like
was never ready
reworking-
for this in the first place.
Yeah, like, going and reworking the system that's already like fully it's like trying to stop a moving train. They're like, we need that cart not to be on there. The train's going at 100 miles an hour. What do you do? Like, you can't just like. It's going to take some time and like a lot of money and whatnot to do that. But like, knowing Donald Trump, when he said he can't do this, it means it will be a lot of work getting it back and reorganized. And
no, I believe his words were more along the lines of, "We are not going to do anything because that's not our business," even though it's U.S. run facilities.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Even like Trump said, and I agree with him on this 100%. You try going to some other country where you don't belong and see what happens to you.
No, I agree with that.
I mean, it's not fair. We're the home of the free. We have better things going on in a lot of other countries. There's things that need to be done right. Just because you're an illegal immigrant and you get over here does not mean we should have to fucking cater to you. It's not right.
100%. You're right.
And
the thing
when
is,
the families come over here and these kids and families get into situations, guess whose fault that is? That is their parents, knowing that, hey, we're coming over here. This is what's going to happen, and it's going to put us in an even worse way than what we're really coming from. And we're just going to roll over the American fucking media and make it seem like we're the fucking bad guys and we don't care, when really we have homeless people of our own and veterans who we can't even fucking take care of. But here we are supporting everybody else's fucking demands.
Yeah, it also has a lot of problems with the fact that the actual immigration system is fucked up. Like our way of processing people in
It's
from the
such a pain
border,
in the dick.
it's fucked up a lot. So like some people, like, they'll get into trouble with like cartels or stuff like that, or like shit will hit the fan for them, and like even if they get sent back in a few months, that's a few months they don't have to worry about like that sort of shit. But like,
Well, yeah, and that was another one of the news stories that broke. These 4 men had come escaping persecution, and they walked out of the prison that they released them from and got shot on the front steps of the prison.
yeah,
Like the cartel was waiting for them to come back.
yeah, like it's complicated.
I do.
Some of the situations are complicated and could be handled better, but like, so we need to fix the in processing. Also,
That's the biggest thing. It needs to be. It's like next to impossible to get a visa right now to come into the U.S. And I don't think I think it should be a lot more open, but there still needs to be more of a background check and more of a. There's a lot of reforming that needs to go into that side of things, and I don't think the way that everyone wants to go about it right now is right, because it's more like let's build this wall. Let's just get them all out and then we'll figure it out. It should be very much, maybe we should figure out what's going on. Why is it so easy? Why is it not easier for people who do actually need help? Because there is a large amount of these people who need help. And that's why they're coming here, because they think they can get it and they don't get it. They end up in a worse situation, and that's terrible. And it's like, if it should be, there should be, the process and the system needs to be completely thrown out and rewritten. I think that is what it comes down to when it comes to coming into the U.S. If you want to come in and work and everything, put in for it legally, get it legal, come in. That's fine. I don't have any problems with that. When it comes to you're sneaking over, you're doing all these illegal things to get here, and then you do illegal things while you're here, it's like, why? What's the fucking point? You're just putting yourself in a worse situation.
it's also like not a very small portion are coming in and doing stuff illegally. It's a small portion of a giant mass that are coming in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's not just immigrants from Mexico or South America or whatever. There's immigrants from Europe and from Africa and from all these other places that are also, and Syria and all these places who also need help. But it's so hard. It shouldn't be that way in the U.S. The U.S. is supposed to represent hope and a better spot for these people, but it's become so impossible to get to that dream that they resort to these underhanded ways of getting in, and then they get in even more trouble and end up in a worse situation, and that shouldn't be the way it is. They shouldn't have to do that. There should be options for them instead of just, I have no other choice but to do this, this, and this for my family. That shouldn't be an option.
Yeah.
But that's my 2 cents. Okay. So my thing about ICE. I worked with ICE when I was in corrections. And yes, they would pick up families like once in a while, but in comparison to how many people they pick up now to how many people they're picking up then, it's a huge difference. It's almost quadrupled. And the thing about it back then is kids were not being deported with their parents. They would get put into CPS, Child Protective Services, and then processed, and they would get help to get away from their, so they didn't have to go back to whatever situation they were in, right? That makes sense, because the kids don't have a choice in any of this. But now they don't do that. If the parents get deported, the kids go with them, and it used to be that they would separate them. Now they don't separate them, but they have them all in these quote unquote family detention centers, and it's just they're literally in cages like cattle. Like it's disgusting to like see the footage of all that. Like humans should not be treated that way. Period.
I don't know.
That's just
everything's fucked up when it comes to this shit.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong right now. I think the biggest thing is that the system is very broken on all sides. And people need to stop fighting about it and thinking that all these radical changes are going to fix everything. Step back and really look at it as a whole and say, "Oh my god, this is never going to work." Because it's not. No matter what you do, it is not going to work. The system is very fucked right now.
I'll be
and
back.
It's not going to get better. You're good. And it's hard. It really is hard. Like, it's what the fuck do you do? Like, where do you stand with all this? And it's like, I don't know, but what I do know is things need to change and it needs to stop. It starts with conversations like these, but it doesn't have to end with like wars and shit. Like there's so much that can be done. The problem is people talk a lot nowadays but don't actually do anything. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Scoots. What do you think? How bad is it? How bad is like the immigration population out there in Florida?
I mean, it's
Is it
not
quite a
really
few?
bad here at all.
No, that's the same way here. It's like I know like 2 families that are illegal for like 100%. I know for a fact they are. Everyone else either was at one time and became legal at some point, or they were, before I got to know them, they were already deported when I was in school. Like that, it was never like, oh, there's never been a lot. Like I very rarely see families like that anymore in this area. And that being said, we're right on the border. I mean, so it's like you'd figure there'd be a lot here, and there's not. There really isn't.
I'm back.
You're good. What about you, Dustin? Is there a lot of activity in that? I assume no, but like
No.
immigrant wise in your area.
Well, I mean, so where I grew up, it's not uncommon for Russian and or Irish immigrants come in and work.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, there's like I was telling Scoots, there's very rarely illegal
Irish are pretty great
area.
too. Like they're really nice people.
Yeah, they are. I am Irish. Like I'm a big portion Irish, so it's like every time I hang out with them, I'm like, y'all are just like my family. It's fucking weird. Every time I hang out with someone actually from Ireland, I'm just like, whoa, my family has a lot of like Irish blood, and I never really thought about it until I actually got Irish friends, and I was like, huh, there's a lot of traditions here that really line up. Yeah, it's hard. Immigration's a hard subject. Immigration and gun control are 2 subjects that are very hard to talk about because there is no fix right now. The whole thing is fucked up, and there's a lot of things that need to happen before it's not. And that is such a fucking fucked up thing to do. But it's interesting. It's interesting that it's getting this much airplay though, because something like this would have happened like 10 years ago.
It's getting all this thing because it's something they can use against Trump and make him try to look bad. It's really the core evil of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true.
When Obama was in office, nobody was really stressing this shit.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal during his campaign.
Yeah, it was huge. Obama deported more illegal immigrants in his presidency than any other president before him. He more than I think he like multiplied the numbers by 10 during his presidency because stricter border laws.
And nobody batted an eyelash about it.
No, and that's the thing. And I think so, for the record, I can't stand Donald Trump for a large amount of reasons, but in the end, he is our president, and this is what we have to work with. So I'm fine with that. Okay, I've had presidents I didn't like in the past. That's fine. It's too easy for people to want to fight things being done just because they don't like a person, or like there are some legitimate changes that could happen that need to happen that won't because of who's in office, and that shouldn't be a thing. It's too late. He's in office. Let it go. It's fine. You don't like him. I don't like him. It doesn't make a difference. There needs to be a line where good things need to happen instead of just focusing on the bad, because there are good things that have happened out of the Trump presidency. I hate to say it, but there are. And it's like, do you really want to sit bickering the whole time when actual change could be happening for the better or for the worse? At least something's trying to be done. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I feel like that made sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I know. I don't know. It's a shit show. Politics are a shit show. Especially now. Kanye in 2020 is going to be worse. What did he say? 2024? You think he's going to do it?
Why not?
He's an idiot.
Hope Oprah beats him.
Oh, is Oprah do?
Oprah isn't.
Is...
I think Oprah and Michelle Obama are running together in this next election, if I remember. Right? Isn't that what it was, Scoots?
Think so.
I don't know who's. I'd be okay with that.
Michelle.
I like their political views. I like the way they look at the world. I think it would be interesting. I don't know if they'd win, but I think it would be an interesting.
Oprah
I think
becomes
this next
president,
election
everybody's gonna get free shit.
I know, right? You are so right. Free health care for everything. Woohoo!
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting
Free
topic. I don't know. Who
Free
did you ever in your lifetime? I know me and Dustin are kind of old, but Scoots, you're old enough to like. Did you ever think you would see like a reality TV star and a businessman as the fucking president, and
No.
like actual like TV people like, oh, I'm gonna run for president? It's like what?
No, that's when I knew the end of the world was coming.
It is not coming.
It's coming. The apocalypse is on us.
You know what bugs me the most about religion is that people will use it for that specifically. Like, oh, the world's so much worse now. It is not. We just see it every day. It wasn't in your face in the 1940s. You didn't see all the fucked up shit that were happening all over the world. Why do you think Hitler got away with so much? That shit would never fly now. The whole world would be on his ass before he even got the first concentration camp out. Like, come on.
Snowflakes weren't a thing back in that time.
Exactly.
The Bleeding Hearts Foundation was not existent.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that would not fly nowadays. It always interests me.
Could you imagine asking Adolf Hitler how many genders there are and waiting for his response?
I'm pretty sure you'd hear the sound of what was it? You just hear the sound of
Mauser?
Yeah, Mauser.
Yeah,
Last thing you heard.
it'd be the last. You wouldn't even see it. That's the best part. Probably. That's it's so weird. We're in a very weird time, like technologically wise. Like, come on. There's some weird shit happening. Like they're talking about like implants, like to like enhance like your physical abilities, like fiber optics in your arms and shit. Like there's some weird stuff coming out. Like stuff that you couldn't dream of in sci-fi is becoming real. And I don't know how to feel about it. They're making little black holes in the Hadron Collider. Like, come on. What is happening? It's a terrifying thought. Little tiny black holes. Speaking of black holes, Scoots, what's your big reason for not taking it in the butthole?
Hey,
I'm joking.
because I know where the other end of this black hole is, and I don't want it there.
All right. I feel you. I feel you. No, it's strange. Also, it's strange to me that you ever notice that relationship? It's like a relationship season right now, and like that happens all the time, like periodically. Like, can you imagine? Have you noticed that, Scoots? Have you ever noticed that? It's like seems
What?
like everybody's getting in relationships right now again.
Well, we all can't end up like China, and not have population because of it's already maxing out over there.
Well, that's the thing too. Did you see the new population study that was done by Oxford? The population hasn't changed in like 6 years
Yeah,
of the
but
world.
the sad thing is the women and men over there they're not dating. They're not trying to
No,
have
yeah, that's
kids.
true.
They're not
No, but
doing
I'm saying
nothing.
worldwide. I'm saying worldwide in general. The population has been exactly the same, just about within like I think it's within like 10,000.
Oh yeah, we got to think about all the mass murders and killings.
Oh, that's true too. But
That plays a
but in
factor.
general, because like in the 1940s, it was common for like people to have. Why do I keep saying 1940s? It's a really weird date. Anyway, in like the early 1900s, it was like common for people to have like 10 plus kids. Now the commonality worldwide is like one or two, and that's it.
Also, just to derail a bit. Holy shit! The writers of A Quiet Place and Stranger Things are working together to adapt a Stephen King novel into a film or like
That actually sounds
TV
super
series.
dope.
But like, yeah, I'll just leave you with that. There, back on track.
No. I want to talk about that now. We're gonna get back to that.
I was just like skimming something about it.
That's super dope. I'm okay with that. There needs to be more Stephen King stuff, like properly done. There's some good Stephen King movies, but like there's quite a few bad ones.
It's a movie. Stephen King's Boogeyman, in the works with A Quiet Place writers and I believe the people from Stranger Things.
That's gonna be interesting.
See, I couldn't get into Stranger Things. A lot of people were like, "Oh, it's such a good show," and I spent the
It's-
first five
it's-
episodes
it's-
trying to
it's-
figure out if that was a boy or a girl.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I mean,
that's really fair.
it depends on how you feel.
I mean,
about,
I'm gonna sound like a horrible person when I say that, but I was literally confused.
Yeah. It depends on how you feel about like I guess horror genres, like cheesy like little I could say 80s little horror like series.
It's very much that. It's
It's
very 80s.
if you're into that, then you're gonna like it. If you're not into that, you're not gonna like it.
Or just in general, like old slasher films, or even newer ones, like the cheesy ones.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much. If you're not into that, it's very hard to be into Stranger Things. And I think like for people like me, I have an obsession with shows and movies like that. So like Stranger Things really like I still haven't watched.
American Horror Story.
I haven't finished watching it
fucking
yet.
Loved American Horror
yeah.
Story.
It depends what
Okay, so
season you're talking
super
about.
fun fact. Super
For
weird fact.
American Horror Story.
So they released set pictures of American Horror Story, and I'm pretty sure the new season that's coming out is Witch Covens, and I'm pretty sure they're filming like
They already
down
did
the
that.
road.
Did
they?
Yeah, that was season 3.
That was they announced something with the new season.
Might
Then
be,
I forget what it was. Nessie sent me the article. Anyway, they put some pictures up, and it looks like they're filming down the road from my house. I'm pretty sure. I think I'm like not 100%. I know like the whole town is like shut down right now near me, so I'm pretty sure.
So I liked
Might be.
season 1 to 2 were
I haven't
great.
seen it.
Season 3 was more like comical than horror-y. Season 4 was just weird.
Which one's the circus one?
Circus 1 season 4.
Okay.
Season
That's the one. I've seen
5
episodes
was
of that one.
season 5 was Hotel, and that was that was okay, I guess.
Yeah, the hotel.
A lot of people said it
I
tried
like
by.
the Insane Asylum, the season 2.
That was season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Roanoke was I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the premise of
A lot of people say watch Roanoke. That it was a really good season.
Roanoke, like I enjoyed the premise and all that. The cult, there was too much political bullshit, and I didn't really care.
I'd probably
Like the season of the cult is Trump's president is going to ruin the world. Everyone's a fearmonger.
He don't have that much power to ruin the world.
And then that was the entire season of season 7, and it was just like it was entertaining. It was just I was laughing for like a lot of season 7. It's
Interesting.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's a show I want to watch at some point.
I need season 3 of The Magicians to hurry up and come out on Netflix.
Right?
No, I
love that show so much.
It's so good. Is season 3 over?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Because if it is, I'm gonna binge watch the fuck out of that.
That's what I'm waiting to do.
Likewise.
Can't stand waiting week for week for that show. It
Season
used to be
3
the
is-
same way about The Walking Dead, but The Walking Dead has just strayed off so bad.
See, I think season 3
Yeah,
is...
I was into this season of The Walking Dead until they like half almost killed what's his face, and then I was just like, I don't care anymore.
Walking Dead also one of the shows like I couldn't get into.
I got
It's
into
hard.
it. And
Walking Dead's
now
very
I
hit
don't
and miss
care
on their
about it.
seasons.
I think
Yeah.
season it's done. I think
Is it
I think
this
it's-
season? Yeah, I think you're right. They ended last month. My thing with The Walking Dead is very hit and miss on their seasons. I think season 1 is okay. Season 2 is really good. Season 3 is really good. Season 4 is fucking terrible. There's that. It varies very much, and then like from episode to episode, it's either it's a bunch of expositional bullshit or it's actually something relevant and okay, and then it's like, oh cool, but it's like it's crappily done. I think they have so much content to pull from in the graphic novels. It could be great.
If they
It
would have
really
just followed,
could.
if they would have just followed the graphic novel and turned it into a TV show based on the graphic novel,
It'd be good.
it'd be great. But they had to be like, no, we're gonna do things our way.
And my
you
biggest
know,
my biggest
butcher
problem with The
everything.
Walking Dead, my biggest problem with The Walking Dead will always be, if I got my arm bitten by a zombie, the first thing I would say is "Son of a bitch!" Not, "Oh God, there's something biting me," or just "Ah!" Like, no, fuck off. You're gonna curse in a situation like that. Stop trying to make these things PG. No one fucking cares.
To be honest, if a zombie bit my fucking arm, I'd be screaming, "Chop the shit off immediately."
So the problem with killing everyone off is not like their problem is not that they killed everyone off, it's that they killed everyone off poorly. Like
Yeah.
so like
Or they drag out
So-
deaths that shouldn't be there.
so they a lot of the characters that they're killing off now should have been dead like seasons.
Yes.
If you
thank
follow
you. It's like
follow,
they're trying to play catch up.
if you follow the comics, they should have been dead like they were supposed to die like seasons ago. And so they
Like
did that
Carl?
like they did that like branch. He's like, we're not gonna kill these characters, we're gonna keep them alive. And the problem is they don't have a real way to write them off now. As opposed to the setup like good way they killed them or whatever in the comics.
I will say when Negan's on screen, he's like the only thing that makes that show worth watching just because that dude's a really good actor. But other than that, like, there's nothing else I like about the show anymore. Like fucking, what's his name?
Say hi.
The guy, Rick's a little bitch.
Okay, don't say hi to him at home.
Who was that, Zach?
Yeah.
Oh, tell him I said hi.
Rick is a bitch.
Yeah, Rick's a little bitch now. Daryl's like halfway a bitch. Michonne just doesn't do shit.
Daryl is. He went from all American.
Speaking
backwoods
of
badass to
speaking of Daryl, the new Kojima game.
Death Stranding? Oh my god, we can talk about that for hours. I don't care if it is a walking simulator, like it showed in that first trailer, or this last trailer they put out. God damn it, it looks fucking beautiful.
On today's journey in this game trailer, we're gonna walk 45 minutes of gameplay.
It just looks interesting. I don't know what it is.
It's a
I
Kojima
want to know
game.
what's up with that. Yeah, it's See, that's my favorite
There's
thing. People are like,
so
what
many-
is this? Literally what happened with the studio is Kojima took them a pitch for a game. It wasn't Death Stranding. It's something else they're also working on. And the studio was like, yeah, that's really cool and all, but so what if we just gave you unlimited resources and money and just let you do whatever you want? What would you do with it? Like, this is what they asked, the CEO asked him. And he's just like, I got an idea. And that's how the game began. It's like, what? Why would you give this man free? I mean, why didn't you do it in the first place? But like, what is this? I don't know. They just let him go crazy with it. He had complete freedom to do whatever he wanted, and I think that's really smart. Like, why wouldn't you?
Genius.
Mm-hmm. And the studio he works with, well, now they named the branch of the studio that he was working with after him, and he has his own studio. So now Kojima Studios is a thing. Kojima Studios is trying to buy the rights to Silent Hill. Because Silent Hill, they've already said they won't make another one, and Kojima wants to continue the series in his own fucked up way. Can you imagine?
Kojima is the king of fucked up.
Yeah,
fucked up. Like, there's gonna be, if you get in beat Death Stranding, there's gonna be so many questions.
I feel like there's gonna be multiple endings too.
They're just gonna be just like. You're never.
It's gonna be one of those games when you're done with it.
You're just things that you never get answered, and it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be like Inception, in that people are gonna think about it and talk about it for years and years and years and never understand it. That's what this is gonna be, I believe. Because Kojima, very much, you can just from the way the trailers are oriented, you can very much tell. One, that each of the trailers is chronologically in line with each other on their release as they would be in the game. Two, that it's very much a game of you have no clue what's going on for the majority of the time, and you get very small glimpses as to what's going on, and then in the end there's going to be this huge revelation. A lot of things are going to make sense, and it's going to bring up even more questions, and it's just going to leave you wondering, what the fuck was that? And that's what I like. That's an incredible thing to me. Like, oh, I don't know. It's exciting to have something like that. Because what was the last true game that left you speechless?
There's gonna be great moments. Speechless? Truly, probably one of the first times I played, I ended, probably Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 2.
I've never played a Mass Effect game.
Okay, I know what we're doing.
I've always wanted to, because I told you I have that really long list of games that I've always wanted to play that I'm going to play at some point.
You're gonna sit down, you're gonna get attached, and then you're gonna lose somebody, and then you're just gonna be heartbroken.
I like it already.
And then you're just gonna find characters. You're gonna fall in love with. You need to sit down and play it.
That's interesting. I know The Last of Us left me pretty speechless when I first played through it.
I
don't know. I'm hoping Fallout 76 is going to be that game for me.
One of those games, yeah. The Metro games always left me like that. I actually really like those games.
There's supposed to be a new Metro
Final Fantasy 15.
Oh God, yes.
I take that back. The first game I ever sat down and felt truly amazed and like happily to play and look forward to every day. Even when out and I was like, I gotta go get a job. I gotta be able to pay for this monthly subscription. Was Final Fantasy 11 online?
Hells yeah.
Like, so 15. Like I still haven't. I ended that game. I'm like, oh. And then when the tile screen changes, spoilers. When the tile screen changes and you're just like, oh, we've only been seeing half of it this time. And
yeah,
then, like it's just like
that fucked with me. Oh, that fucked with me.
Oh, and then like it's just one of those things that I need to sit down and like fully finish, but I just can't bring myself.
Yeah, somebody gave me the games, and I was just like, oh.
I just want to see a Final Fantasy 7 with today's graphics.
They're already doing that.
I know, but they need to hurry up.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7's already being remade. You're good. They're also doing what they did with Gears of War.
That I should have liked, but then Hellblade.
What?
Senua's Hellblade.
The combat killed it for me.
Okay, yeah, the combat system shit.
The combat killed it for me.
Oh, that was the same
But
way.
there's
with,
hardly any combat in that game.
Black Desert Online.
Yeah, that's the point. It's just like this.
It's a story. It's like a movie. It's like Life is Strange for me in the fact that it's very much of a movie that you're experiencing.
I want combat, and I don't get it. And when I do get combat, it's bad.
No, look.
There were the people who made that game. Okay, so that studio got bought out by Xbox finally, and Xbox gave them free reign on a horror franchise. I'm so okay with that.
Watch combat from Black Desert Online, but what they don't tell you is all the individual keystrokes and clicks and shit you got to do all this cool shit. But just watching the gameplay of people, it looks so amazing. Like it looks
I have it.
badass. Oh, I've
played
it,
it and it's crazy.
and then I go to try to do this shit, and my fingers are all over the place, and you have to hit crazy shift, alt, and E's and backs and clicks.
Gotta get your bindings, fam.
It's not. You can't even bind everything. It's not like World.
No, it's very much. Isn't I think there's more key binding. There's more keys and commands to bind than there are keys on a keyboard.
Yeah.
It's fucking
hard.
ridiculous.
It's interesting. Black Desert's another game like it's like WoW in the fact that it's gonna only get more popular because it's so good. It's a very good game.
It's very pay to win.
I love
it.
That
Is.
game.
Oh no, 100%.
But
That's why I never liked it.
I can't play it for more than like 10 minutes because my fucking fingers and my mind just don't work that way.
So like same thing with Fortnite. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Nah, I could legitimately sit and play Fortnite for like a good 24 hours and not get bored. Which is sad. Honestly. I hate that I just said that. Actually, no, maybe like 12. But still, that's a lot. But yeah. So fun fact, I forgot to start the timer to see how long we've been going. So we're going to take a break real quick. And I got to piss anyway. And I'm going to restart I'm just going to see how long the record. I think we're only like in an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So we got a bit to go still. Because we got plenty to talk about.
Also, apparently, like the new game from the Life is Strange. What was it? The new one that just came out about the kid.
Oh yeah, it happens 4 years after Life is Strange.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's
a kid's game.
It's just bad.
Yeah,
well, it's not even bad.
Game.
It's just like the writing's just bad.
To be fair, Life is Strange is one of my favorite games of all time.
Writing
is terrible.
Have you seen the the ending? Or can we go into spoilers? Or have you seen the ending? Do you care about the ending?
I don't care. I'm never gonna play it.
Scoots.
I don't think Scoots cares either.
Okay.
Just go.
So I bet close your ears if you don't wanna.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. So at the end, like it's sort of like just these dumb scenarios. So like it branches off into like these scenarios, like these like fantasy scenarios where he's like, oh, he's in a car and then he's transported to like a spaceship and he's flying around. Except it doesn't lead anywhere. Like it's just him like sitting in like the spaceship, and then when he gets to the planet, vision over, and it's just like stupid stuff like that. And then it ends with like, so from when I first heard it, how I wanted it, you'll think it the same way, probably. But like his dad's like an alcoholic and blames him for his like mother's death or something, and then so he's like crying and he goes out and to climb up to his treehouse, and like the branch snaps, and so how I wanted this scenario to go is him just like Bridge of Terabithia, dead kid.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been a
So,
nice ending. But so what happens is he falls, and then he just starts floating, and then the kids from across the street apparently just like go up and like they wave, and that's it. And that's the ending to the game. Like it's not explained. It doesn't go into it. It's just that's it.
So that's interesting. What is the game Among the Sleep? Do you remember that game?
2 seconds.
It came out in 2014. It's a very old game. Did you ever? I don't know if you've ever even heard of it.
I think I have. Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I played that game.
Okay. So this kid has all these nightmares and goes
Yeah,
through these
yeah.
situations, right?
I've seen it.
And then at the end of all of it, you see that each one of these things correlates to a traumatic event that happened in this child's life.
Mhm.
Is that it was his mother dying? No. His father being abusive and leaving. His mother being suicidal and a drunk and beating him. And CPS coming in and taking him away, and his mother committing suicide. I think there's more scenarios in there that I don't remember, but those are the ones that stick in my head. So, I think for this game that we're just talking about, which I don't remember the name of it, for it to have worked properly and to have been, even if the writing was bad, if there was a payoff in the end of each of those sequences, like, oh, well, now this is why he's thinking like this, because this traumatic thing happened to him at this moment, and this is how his mind's perceived. That would have made it a very different and interesting game worth playing. But what you're saying and what I've seen from the game is there is no payoff like that. It's very much these things are happening, you're never going to know why. Good luck. That's
And
it.
also apparently what they like to do is they'll just throw in like music. Like, so instead of writing story or making things that mean something, they'll try and get you like feely music, and they'll just play like music to try and get your feels or whatever. And so watching or there was someone who was streaming it, and like every time the music and they started doing that, he just mute it. He'd just be like, and like play some like other song.
That's interesting. I don't know. Among the Sleep has a sequel coming out too, I believe.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure. Or it has one already out, maybe. I don't remember. I think there's supposed to be one coming out about the same kid, like in the teenager years or something. It's supposed to be really interesting. It's a great game. That's one of those games that like always sticks in my head, like, wow, that's a really fucked up situation. Like, that's the only way to describe it. It is really fucked up. But yeah, we're gonna take a break. I gotta go take a piss, and get something to drink. Dustin, Scoots, feel free to do the same thing, and we'll be back in a couple minutes, which will be like no time at all for the people listening right now. So, BRB. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, which y'all didn't see an actual break.
Round
At some point,
two.
we'll have sponsors and stuff, and that will be like the plugs when we take the breaks like that. Like that'll be the plan for the futures. But that's in the future. Not probably pretty soon, depending on how quick I can grow this the way I want it to, which I think I can do quickly if I get who I want on. So that'll be interesting. Speaking of interesting things, what are your guys' go-tos for podcasts? Do you guys listen to podcasts often?
No.
Nope, not really.
No, you're not into that kind of stuff.
Not that I'm not into it. It's just I normally have other shit on my mind.
Yeah, what Scoot says.
Well, I think now that Spotify has podcasts and like I can download them, and I can because where I'm at I lose signal on the way to work. Also, I'm hearing an echo slightly. Where I'm at I lose signal on the way to work because I live in the middle of nowhere. So it's like I have Spotify Premium and I can download stuff, and it's easier to download podcasts that way now. So I do that a lot now. So like H3H3 podcasts, definitely one that I'm like, yep, that's like one I don't miss. Joe Rogan, depending on who's on, I'll go listen. But my big one is Star Talk, with Neil deGrasse Tyson or with Bill Nye, whoever's hosting the episode. That's like that's the one that I really really enjoy listening to, because the inner nerd in me is just like
Yeah.
But yeah, that's always good. I like podcasts. Yeah, this one's a good one. The Ear Biscuits with Rhett and Link too is another good one. That's one. The Beerus podcast I used to listen to a lot, but I don't drink beer anymore, so it don't matter. I just drink whiskey.
He's like, yep, it's whatever.
It's interesting, just like there's like almost 300 different kinds of beer sold in the United States alone, and it's like it's so much. It's so much to learn about that stuff. It's interesting. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on. So I want to talk about movies now. Specifically, I went to see Jurassic World. Is it what is it? The new one? Um,
Something Kingdom, Lost Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen
Fallen Kingdom.
Kingdom.
I made two now. If you go into
Okay.
spoilers.
No. I'm not going into spoilers. I will say, phenomenal movie. It's not. There's problems with it. When you see it, you'll understand. But it's so beautifully shot and well done that I just enjoyed the movie. It's just one of those things where like you kind of tune out, and it's just like it's a Jurassic. There's dinosaurs fighting. I don't fucking care. Like it's awesome.
Dinosaurs
Like, almost-
creeping in little girls' windows.
Oh, that whole thing. There's a lot behind how that happens, and it's like when you get to that part, you're just like, But I will say, the original three Jurassic Park movies felt like this action adventure kind of thing, and these newer ones feel more like a horror movie, and I like that. Like you can very much tell that it's not just dinosaurs and coolness, and like it's a horror movie. It's good though. It's really well done, and I like it. But yeah, it's worth seeing. But the thing I want to talk about is, do we leave past franchises alone and stop making sequels and prequels and shit? Like, should we do that? Like, cause
I
like
mean, it depends. So
Star Wars now is hit and miss.
yeah,
Because most people like were like, prequels are shit, but they're still good. There's still a lot of good things that came out of them, and then the original three are really good. And then now it's like, this one's okay, and that one was and this one's maybe, but it's like, and then like other movies like when Indiana Jones came back, it's like nope, or like when
It's
Tomb
coming
Raider,
back
this new
again.
one is like
It's coming back again.
What is?
Indiana Jones is no one.
I know, they're making another one. Harrison Ford signed a contract for 3 more movies.
It might be fine. I don't know. I see how it goes.
If it goes the route of Crystal Skull, it won't. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry. I digress.
Or not. I'm trying to think. Just talk. I'm trying to pull up.
You good? I don't know. It seems like why mess with a good thing is my thing. Like, there's a lot of good movies that they're remaking or making sequels to, and I'm like, yeah, some are really good. Some of the sequels are really fucking good, like the Super Troopers 2 and stuff. But like, a lot are just bad.
But no, when it comes down to Super Troopers and everything, those are like movies people came up with here recently in the last 10, 15 years. What kills me is these motherfuckers going back to like when I was born in like 1986, and they're like pulling these books off the shelf, and they're like, Game of Thrones was one of them. Game of Thrones is an old ass book or books. And no one, there was like barely, there's a small, people are like, oh, I fucking love this book series, blah, blah, blah. And then when that shit hit TV, it was like the whole world's dick stood straight up. And it was just like, I need a bitch to jump on it. Oh my god, this shit is the greatest shit. What is going on with the world today that people just can't come up with good shit anymore, and they gotta fucking go back in time and like.
I think what it is
So it also depends on who's doing it. So like
that's true too.
for reference, the Star Treks when they started to go through again, those were all pretty good.
They got 2 more coming though, but I don't know. I'm not a Star Trek fan.
If
People have told me they're good. I don't watch them. I've never watched them.
Lost in Space, from what I've seen so far, is pretty good. That's an old reshoot. I'm trying to think of what else has been.
Transformers.
No, Transformers is bad. Transformers.
Yeah, it is. They canceled the last 2.
Yeah, because I think even Michael Bay stopped working on them.
He left.
Also,
He walked out on his contract because they were so bad. Because he's like, I'm tired of you giving me shitty scripts. That's literally what he said. I'm pretty sure.
And then they're making a Bumblebee movie next. What is it?
Yeah.
Is it coming out?
Bumblebee origin movie's already done shooting. They're in editing right now. Um, yeah, it takes place like before the first one, I think, of the reboots. And I'm like, what? I don't know. It's weird. It's some weird shit. My thing is, it seems like I'm okay with movies biting off.
So how do you feel about so there's 2 movies coming out. There's a new Halloween. And then
Okay.
there's
I'm
new
actually
Predators.
kind of excited.
I'm glad you
about that
said something. I'm glad you said something. Because I saw that trailer when I first heard.
Also, Mad Max
that-
was pretty good.
I'm not a Mad
What?
Max fan, so I didn't
one.
enjoy
No,
it.
the newest
The movie
Mad
was
Max
great.
movie. No.
Yeah.
Did you
No.
not
The
like it?
it was shot.
No.
I didn't like the story of the newest Mad Max movie, but it was shot beautifully, and I can appreciate the editing work that went into it,
Yeah.
and I can appreciate the cinematography that went into it.
The story
From
though,
somebody who's done that for a living for a while,
That's
I enjoyed that aspect of it. The same thing with a lot of movies that I watched recently. I'm just like, whoa! I wish that thought in my head would have come visually because that's beautiful. But yeah, no, Mad Max, no. I'm not a Mad Max fan ever. I've never been.
I enjoyed it.
Blade Runner. The new Blade Runner is really fucking good. I'm not even gonna lie. I like that movie.
That's right. Blade Runner.
but they got a really all-star cast in it. I think is what really took it to a new level for me anyway. The old one was a meh for me. This one's actually really good. I enjoyed it. I actually did. But you see, they're making a Top Gun sequel.
oh man,
I'm both okay with it
I'm
and not.
hoping they do good. If not,
I
I'm
don't know.
gonna be mad.
Tom Cruise is in it, so I mean, it's gonna have some crazy stunt bullshit. I'm sure. Did you see the Mission Impossible shit, man? He's fucking nuts. He almost died like 4 times filming this movie. Like Tom Cruise needs to fucking stop. Like, they need to cut him off. He's got like action movie addiction. He's gonna kill himself one of these days. Like seriously.
And then Emmett's over here jumping for joy for the new Wick movie.
John Wick. Come on, dude. Halle Berry's one of the main assassins they send after John. Come on, dude. Oh, the second I heard Halle Berry was in it, dude, my dick was at attention. It's like, what? Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm like beyond excited for that movie.
I actually haven't seen the trailer. I'm going to watch that right now.
Is there a trailer for 3?
There's also a John Wick, but not John Wick. Movie.
Oh, the TV show.
Is it a TV show? I don't think it's a TV show.
There's a TV show. There's a TV show coming out on Fox, and it's called what's the name of the organization?
No, not that. Like it's Keanu Reeves in a movie that I thought was a John Wick movie,
Uh-huh.
but it isn't.
What movie? I'm actually curious now. What movie? I don't know, John. Keanu can't. What's the there?
It's just John Wick, but it's like it's not.
Interesting. Find out what that is. No, but what's the name of the
Siberia.
fucking hotel? Never heard of it.
Will you call me?
You're right. Never heard of it. Sounds interesting. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Here.
Anyway, whatever the name of the hotel is, there's a TV show coming out on Fox following the life of assassins, and Keanu Reeves is set to make several appearances, and it's like extending the universe, I think is what it is, and
go.
setting up a lot of background stuff. Siberia Trail. Oh, I did see this. Another movie sequel that's coming out that I'm super excited about, The Equalizer 2.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I saw the first trailer for that, and I
So have
Fucking
you?
Meg,
have you
what
seen,
was that movie trailer you showed me the other night with the girl from Hunger Games in it?
So you haven't talked
Red
about
Sparrow.
Oh, I have that movie. I can say.
but Predator,
Gotcha.
the new Predator.
I'll talk to you
movie.
about it after. Huh?
Like Meg
The
showed
new
me the
Predator
trailer
movie.
for that. She was like, "Is that so?"
Oh, dude!
What?
I saw that trailer too, and
There's
I
a
was like,
lot
oh!
of people giving that flack.
What?
New
Wow.
Predator movie.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why,
Okay,
but
so that.
I could see that a lot because it's like they're straying so far out of left from that movie franchise. But I'm totally okay with it because it looks badass.
So there's
I'm
like,
actually pretty stoked.
from what I can see, the only thing that seems like, so, the only thing that seems out of the ordinary is fucking what's his name, from Key and Peele. Him being in the fucking movie, I don't understand why he's there, and I feel like it's gonna hurt the movie.
Because when he's in there, just Predators needs a little slap ass too.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then the giant like other predator that shows up in like you remember the trailer where he like the bigger like other predator thing just rips a guy through the other predator through a window.
Yep.
And I'm like, why? How? And I have something to say about the fact that like one of these predators is white and the other one is black. Like, he's just like clearly why? Is this necessary?
Like, so I'm gonna ask you your opinion on something, and I'm curious because we both know that it's gonna happen again. Prometheus and the new Alien movie, Covenant, because Covenant's a sequel. Covenant? Yeah, Covenant's a sequel to Prometheus.
Yeah. You didn't? Did you not know that? It's obvious.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying for people who don't know. Yeah, so and there's going to be an Alien vs. Predator remake. They already said that's happening. That's why the Predator movies are coming back in abundance in the next couple of years. What do you think about the storyline of the new Alien movies?
I don't know. The last Prometheus and everything kind of didn't go the way it was.
Prometheus.
They skipped a lot.
Prometheus was cool.
It was good.
Aren't there 3 movies? Isn't it Prometheus something and then something?
That giant face hugger, though.
There's one before Prometheus. There's one before. Yeah, no, fuck that shit. There's one before Prometheus. Then there's Prometheus, and then there's.
I was just really sad that.
And then there's one coming out after, but nobody knows what the time. So the timeline's so fucking convoluted. I swear.
The thing I didn't like about it was the creation of what the alien was like coming from the engine.
Okay, there we go. So it's Prometheus came out in 2012, and there's Alien Covenant came out. And they're planning a sequel to Alien Covenant. Prometheus was... I enjoyed Prometheus. It was weird, and, like, you didn't get it was Alien until, like, later on, and you're like, fuck.
That's why I liked it. That's what really sold me on Prometheus. And then when you realize, oh, God, this is an Alien movie.
It's like...
it's the origins of Alien. That's like really got me. It's like it's the origin
Covenant
of Alien.
Was stupid. It was.
You didn't like it?
The whole movie was trust nobody, not even yourself, and it was dumb.
Yeah,
it was
true.
It was a dumb movie.
It was like a Thing remake.
I like Thing. I enjoyed it.
I didn't like that movie. It's very much like I don't hate the movie, but I don't like it.
There's
I'm
a
like
lot
right
of
in the
like.
middle.
There's
Like
a
I'll
lot
watch
of,
it and it's good. I've seen it twice.
There's a lot of like stupid decisions. Like, why would you do this? And there's like points where it's just like, how does this person know this information? And like, when was the swap made? And you just like trust nobody, not even double android.
Yeah.
Who is there for some reason? And it's
they left a lot of. I don't know, and they glossed over so much.
Like, it was just bad. I didn't like it.
I don't know.
And they made the aliens to be like gods. They were like the actual true being was like the outcome of it. Like the engineers worship the actual aliens that they were making from the black goos because they couldn't reproduce on their own.
You know what I'm hyped for? That looks like a dumb movie, but I'm super hyped.
Incredibles 2.
No.
Oh yeah, Tag looks hilarious.
Tag looks funny. I haven't been tagged in 30 years, and I'm just like, you get
it looks like it's
gonna
be like
you get that screen time.
Oh, it's already out. And it's. I think it did better than the Superman movies.
To be fair, it's not hard.
Yeah, but like it looks like a dumb movie, and that it's gonna be poorly written. But I feel like it's just one of those movies. Like it's bad, but I can just see myself enjoying it, sitting down and being like, I enjoy.
Like Office Christmas Party.
Maybe.
It's a really funny movie.
But it's like
you haven't never seen that. Watch that.
The
movie.
premise is stupid, and I love the actors, and it's just.
Yeah, it's great. It's fucking great. Like I'm super I want to see that too. Back to your Halloween coming back out. I'm not gonna lie, seeing how they're doing this and watching that first trailer, I felt like a kid in a candy store. Like oh my god, oh, I'm so excited.
I need to sit down and watch the Halloween. We need to sit down and rabbit the Halloween time.
I'm down. I haven't seen those movies in years.
Because
I
Meg-
love those movies.
It's funny because
Yes.
Meg the other night was asking me, she's like, you want to watch the Halloween movies?
we all
Me and Nessie were planning on
we
doing
all-
it before
we
the new
should
one
all
comes
get
out.
like in a group and like just watch it.
Me and Nessie were planning on doing it before the new one came out.
But like so
Because when
The
does the
thing
new
I-
one come out?
it comes out
I'll look right now.
it comes out October 25th. It comes out
Oh.
like on
Hell yeah.
or no, that's the old one, but Halloween. Here. It's
Just look up
probably-
20.
honestly it probably comes out October 19th.
In October. That's not bad.
I don't know how Jamie Lee Curtis is alive. Because the last thing I remember was her neck being broken and her dropped off of a building. And I was just like, wait a minute, how is she
Dude, she's a gun-toting grandma in this one.
like?
I'm okay with it.
Can
I don't
we-
know.
can
I'm
we-
totally
can we
okay.
talk
To be
about
fair,
some
they
s-
take liberties.
Have either of you guys watched the Halloween movies?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen them.
A couple of
Okay,
times.
okay. So like at the last time we saw her was she was Michael broke into an asylum to attack her. And she's like, I got a plan.
Yep.
And Michael's coming. I know he's coming. And she tries to throw him off of a roof, but he tricks her and throws her off of the roof. And what
yeah,
didn't
I remember.
Didn't she?
I remember.
Did it also it's for some stupid like I'm gonna instead of backing away, I'm gonna try and do this. And he just throws her off the building.
I remember.
But like
I don't remember if she died or not, though. Like,
I remember her dying.
I don't know. I haven't seen it
It's
in years.
movie magic. She lived.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
It's what's it called? Plot armor.
like she sort of gets him in. What was it? It's Halloween whatever, and Halloween H2O I think it is, where like the house is having like the. Also, I didn't remember him getting captured. I guess they just killed that movie from. They might have just killed the movie from the series.
Maybe. Maybe this. I don't know. I feel like.
So
I feel like they're gonna do this. I bet money this is how this is gonna go. It's gonna be this movie and a prequel to this movie to explain all, because there's gonna be. It's from what I already see, there are plot holes from the trailer, and I was
So,
like, there's some
I
things that
think
don't make
the
any sense.
last not Halloween. So Halloween H20 was one. Which was the 20-year anniversary. Halloween Resurrection. That was the one. So they might have just retconned Halloween Resurrection,
Maybe
which is fair because it was like a little shitty side movie.
it was like Freddy versus Jason. It's just not canon.
I mean, it might be. So
Actually, believe it or not, they made Freddy vs. Jason canon.
yeah.
Did they? I know.
Yeah.
I know. There's a script for the sequel, and no one wants to greenlight it, which sucks because I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies.
So like the whole premise of people are going in like these producers, like they bought and renovated the house, their old like original house, his Michael's original house, and like they modified it to put like creepy shit and stuff because they're making a reality series and putting everyone in it. And then so at the beginning of the movie, he kills his sister and like throws her off the building, and then he goes to his old home and starts murdering everybody, and then he gets blown up in fire at like the ending. And it's a silly, stupid movie, and I can see them retconning the entire movie, and it would work.
I guess we'll find out when we watch this movie. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of like. There's probably gonna be like a long narration in the beginning of the movie to explain how they got to wherever they're at in the timeline.
My only confusion is how
Or there'll be flashbacks.
how they caught Michael, because at the end of Halloween
Don't they hint at it in the trailer?
no. So at the
I
end,
thought they
in the trailer, it's how he gets out. They don't like really talk about how he got caught, because in the end of H20, he puts his mask on like a paramedic, and she kills the paramedic, and then she's like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" And then he just walks off in like the ambulance or something.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're gonna retcon that whole thing. That
Like,
seems like a shit show.
And then she's like mentally destroyed because she just murdered a man.
I hope they do it. I hope that you know what if. I hate to say this because this is like a super fucked up way to get out of this, but if I was making that movie, I wouldn't say a word about how it happened or how everything got to this point, and then I would make a prequel. Like to retcon the rest of it to make more money, because if this one does good and you go at the same pace of the prequel, oh god, you'd make so much money.
Them retconning Resurrection works because Resurrection was a mistake. So basically, H20 came out the 20-year whatever of this one's the 40-year 40th anniversary, by the way, of the original Halloween. H20 was the 20th year anniversary, and on the heels of H20, they made that one because they're like, oh, this is super popular, let's make more, and it didn't do well.
So what I'm hoping for as well is every time one of these movies, whether it's Friday the 13th, whether it's one of the Nightmare on Elm Street, or whether it's a Halloween movie, when one comes out, the other two come out. Have you noticed that? And so, like, I'm totally okay if there's I'm okay with another Friday the 13th. And I love those movies. They're so fucking good. Freddy's my boy. Freddy's my spirit animal. He's one of the demons in my head. I'm so down for another one. I like the newest ones, but the old ones are just so fucking good.
Nah, this current one, apparently they're trying to transport Michael to another facility in the bus wrecks.
Well, that makes sense. That's fine.
The trailer's really good. I saw the trailer when I went to go see Deadpool because it played in theater, and I was just like, "Holy crap, that's gonna be good!" I was like super excited and laughing at people dying and shit. It's great. It's great. I love horror movies, though. To be honest. Oh, you know what horror movie I'm excited as fuck to see? The Nun. From Did you watch The Conjuring 2?
No.
Damn it, dude, that's such a good movie. You need to watch it. Oh, it's so good because it's based on a true story. But anyway, so there's this spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it. There's this spirit following Mary Warren around, and it's a nun, and it's followed her since she was a child. Well, they're making an entire movie about the origin story of how the nun became a demon that ended up following Mary Warren. And there's this scene with a young nun in training, and she's like walking through the catacombs under this old Catholic church, and there's bones everywhere, and this nun's walking right behind her, and she's like, she takes steps, and then she'll stop, and like 2 steps will come, and she's like completely oblivious, and then she like turns around to look at the nun, and another one comes out from a hallway, picks her up off her feet,
are you talking about the Conjuring series from?
Yeah. From the Warrens.
Now I did watch a movie.
It's good.
People, they were in these sewers, and so they actually found like the gate of hell and shit, and it was like,
oh, you're talking about As Above, So Below. That's one of my favorite
Yes.
horror movies ever.
And
That's
like,
such a good movie.
they lifted up this like tunnel, this little lid that was going down, but it ended up taking them up to the street of like Paris.
Yeah. So what happened with that movie is, for anyone who hasn't seen it, even if you watch it, you will have no fucking clue what I'm talking about unless you really pay attention. So what it is they go into the Paris catacombs to explore and chase down some lost people down there. And they find this guy who leads them down deeper and deeper. And they keep going deeper and deeper. Well, they cross into hell. And for them to get out alive,
Dude, when they
face
turn
all the fucked up shit that they've done in their lives.
Turned that corner and that guy in the car was sitting there and it bursted in the flames.
Dude,
and he like,
that's such a good scene.
He drugged that dude straight through the window and like bent him in half, and I was like,
yep. And then the faces in the wall when they started coming out and dude, that's such a good movie. Oh, so yeah, so the only way to get out of hell alive is to face all the fucked up shit you've done in your life and like pretty much rectify it by admitting all the bad shit they've done. So it's like, it's really fucked up, but it's really good when you actually know what's going on. I've probably seen that movie 100 times. Like, it's so good. So good.
and shit was creepy as fuck.
Yeah, it's a great, no matter how many times you watch it, you're going to jump a couple of times. There's some good scares in there. It's one of those really well done movies.
Like
I'm
the
sad
whole
that
entire
there's a lot of
time
people
they
hate
were
it.
like sitting there and the Reaper's walking around and like sits down in the chair. I was like, don't you fucking,
Ooh,
oh,
yeah.
don't you fucking do it.
Yeah. Well, he can't touch him until they make the decision. That's like the best part of it. It's so interesting. It was a good movie.
I'm worried about Venom. I don't
We-
know how
Oh, we
I
can
feel
talk
about
about that. Okay, you're not the only one.
And them.
it. Like, first of all, they're playing
I
Venom.
like.
They're playing
I'm not gonna
Venom
lie.
as an anti-hero, and I don't like that because Venom
I don't
is
either.
not an anti-hero, and he's so much better
Okay.
as a villain.
Yeah, no, I
And
agree.
I'm just
So-
monster.
In the defense of that, it's an MCU side movie. Technically, it does belong in the Marvel verse.
Actually, I
as it
don't think.
stands
I
in-
think because Sony's doing it is.
No, because they already said that
Sony's
there's
part of
overlapping
it.
characters. Yeah, there's overlap. It doesn't matter though because we'll talk about one of my topics is about this anyway. It is in the MCU. There are overlapping characters. It's kind of on the line of being canon and not being. And it was because it's dependent on whether or not a deal went through of Disney buying the rights back. Anyway, so the way it looks now, they're taking liberties with the material, like they did with the DC movies. In that they're using the source material as an inspiration, I think, more than as.
Oh, can we talk? Can we talk about the shit I'm really excited for? How to Train Your
Yeah.
Dragon 3.
Yeah, let me just finish this thought on.
Yeah.
on that.
You're good.
So-
I'm just like, I don't know if you're as hype as I am, but I'm like over the moon for
You're good.
that.
I'll give you that in a second. So, Venom, if it is done correctly, the premise they have now, it will be a great movie. If it goes from the way I would do it and the way I think it should be done is Venom starts thinking and making Eddie Brock think that he's going to be an anti-hero and then slowly corrupting his mind into the villainy. That would be a great storyline. As to how Venom how the symbiote gets complete control over Eddie Brock. That would be fucking great. How I think they're going to do it is this bullshit anti-hero, which he's not in any way, shape, or form. He has been in the comics before, but he always goes back to his ways. Always.
Yeah.
Oh.
Later people who have the Venom suit though end up being good people.
Yeah,
Eddie
but Eddie
Brock
Brock's
is-
not a good person in the first place.
Yeah, and it should. I want it.
So I'll say, from what I've seen, I'm
They're also
on the fence
playing-
about it.
They're also playing. It looks like they're going to play Eddie Brock as less of a scumbag than he is.
Yeah, he's a
Like
piece of shit.
he's a scumbag piece of shit.
Yeah,
like
100%. But I did like seeing a realistic-ish take on Venom. I like this. I think it's interesting. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. That's all I'll say. Not going to lie that we are Venom when it came out and all the voices came. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, now you got my attention. Because, like, before everything they'd shown, I was just like, this is going to be a fucking stupid movie. And then that one scene, I was like, okay, you have my attention. I'm interested enough to go see it. That's about it. Anyway, go ahead, Dustin. Say what you were going to say. You have your L topic, Dad.
What are you talking about?
What do you, the fucking thing?
How
you
to Train Your
said
Dragon,
you were
sir? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
super hyped. Like that movie.
You mean the
series is,
PewDiePie
like-
series?
What?
Have you not seen that?
No.
Oh, hold on. Okay, go ahead and start talking about it.
Like,
I've never seen those movies. Fun fact.
Okay. Okay, we're
Me
doing
neither.
something tonight.
Yeah. I'll watch them. You got me tomorrow if you want to watch them.
Yeah, I will rent these shits right fucking now.
I have them, I think. I've just never. No, that's a lie. I've seen the first one, actually. But yeah. I don't know. What's the?
So the
what's
TV series are pretty okay, but so the
I forgot that was a thing.
but the movies is where it's at. So this first one starts off like him as like a kid, like going up. He wants to impress his father. I'll just summarize the whole series. He wants to impress his father, and he wants to take down a dragon because he's sort of smaller than the other kids and whatever, but he's smart. So he hit. It's a little like Pride Wolf scenario where he builds a contraption to take down the Night Fury that's been destroying them. Because it's faster and it only strikes at night, so no one can see it coming in. And he hits it and it takes it down. But no one believes him, so he's like, "I'm going to prove I did this." And he goes out into the woods to track it down and finds it, and it's injured. But then like it has him dead to rights, can kill him, but it doesn't. And he's just like, "Wait a minute, you're not such a bad guy. You're a pretty cool guy." And then he just like he starts like. It's in this like little, so its wings is damaged, so it's in this like little crater thing, and it can't get out. So he just spends time learning about it and like being like, "Oh, dragons like this and this," and then so he starts Viking training, and he uses this to his advantage. He's like, "How am I supposed to beat? Oh, there's dragons coming at me. Well, dragons are actually ticklish under this spot, so I'll just tickle the dragon and take it down." Like just like stuff and like, "Oh, this item works like catnip to dragons. And they get really hyper, so I'll do that." And he just like, starts outsmarting his way through the thing. Oh, I see now.
You see what? Hold on. There's another one that's a great one. It's got Marcia and Edgar in it.
And then like he's going through, and then people like so. Then people start figuring out that he has a dragon. Or well, he first of all he wants to like ride the dragon. So he builds his contraption to fix his wing that works with his like saddle and starts flying around Toothless and bonds with the dragon. And people start figuring out like how is he like this weak little shit doing all this stuff against the dragons. And I guess the love interest Astrid like ends up figuring out that he has a dragon. And then his dad finds out and locks the dragon up. Like, there's this whole scene. He's like, "It's not what you think. Dragons aren't so bad." And he goes in the thing, and like they're like, "Wait, because so the dragon when he's flying to, they discover a dragon nest where an alpha dragon is. So how alpha dragons work? They give off this signal, and then other dragons are like forced to do whatever the alpha dragon wants them. So it's figured out that the dragons are raiding the village and keep attacking it because the alpha dragon wants food and wants them to keep raiding it, not because the dragons necessarily want to attack the people."
Huh.
And so Toothless, all this information is figured out, jambled. Toothless gets locked up, and they use like Toothless as a radar beacon, and get all their Viking ships and go fight the alpha dragon. And Hiccup's like left on the island with the training Viking. And he's like, we can't do this. Astrid, who had some moments with Toothless earlier, is like, "You know what? I'm going to take a chance and believe him." And he gets all the training Vikings, and they all go and release the dragons that are used for training, and they all tame them, and ride them out to catch up with the other Vikings and help Toothless. Because the Vikings don't know what they're up against because they won't listen to Hiccup. And then there's this big epic fight scene with the dragon. And then Toothless catches Hiccup at the last second and saves him, but not all of them. And he loses his leg. And it's replaced like with a metal like little pole thing.
Metal peg leg.
Metal peg leg. And this just becomes a running joke later because Hiccup's missing a leg and Toothless is missing part of his wing. And so they're like, there's a joke in the second movie where it's like, "Yeah, I shot him down, but he got me back later. He couldn't save all of me." Points out his leg. In the second movie, it starts off like time has passed. He's like a young adult now. The village has become more accepting of dragons, and people have dragons and whatnot and stuff. And Hiccup's become this explorer. Like, he'll go out and he'll just chart entire areas on the back of Toothless. And, like, he's made inventions. Like, he has this sword. So there's this type of dragon that shoots gas, and the other one ignites the gas. He makes a sword that expels gas and lights itself on fire. And like he builds like a wingsuit and all this stuff, and he's become an explorer. And now he's exploring out one day, and he comes across some hunters. It's like, what are dragon hunters doing out here? And like they're capturing dragons and doing all this stuff. He sort of investigates it, and then he runs across. And then he's like, whatever. And he leaves, and to tell his dad like they need to go stop these dragon hunters. But his dad recognizes who they are working for as this like evil like Viking who wants to be like a Viking king. And he like the last meeting of all the head chiefs from the different islands that met up, he like bombed it and killed like everyone.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, and this is the guy who's Hiccup ran into out while exploring. And Hiccup's like, well, we need to go out there and help the dragons. And his dad's like, no, you need to stay away from this. Don't bring them. This is not our fight. Stay away from this. And Hiccup's like, fuck this. And like runs off out there to go take him back. And when he's doing that, he comes across another dragon. Another dragon rider. And he's like, what? You're not from Burke. Who the fuck? There are other dragon riders? And the dragon rider sort of takes him down. And it figures out that that's his mom, who was thought to be dead like a long time ago in a dragon attack. But what actually happened is there's a dragon attack, and one of the dragons stopped Hiccup from being murdered. And she's like, "Oh, hey, dragons are pretty all right." And then went off to go see. She was problems with the husband, I think, and like went off to go be a dragon rider and help the dragons. And then this is all happening. And Hiccup's been missing for a while as this happens. And Hiccup's been missing, so his dad and some other people go off and chase to go look for him and end up finding him. And then the dad realizes the mom's still alive, and there's a whole. And then they meet up. They figure out that there's an alpha dragon at this sanctuary she's been keeping, and that and like all these dragons, and that's what the evil guy wants. He wants to capture all these dragons, make an army, and just burn everything to the ground.
As he should.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a white dragon that looks like Toothless too?
That's in the third movie. That's in the trailer for the. That's
a white Toothless. That's racist.
But that all happens anyway. There's a big fight with the evil guy, with like the 5 main new riders and the evil guy, and people get captured, people get saved, and then the dad ends up dying, and then the alpha dies, the dad ends up dying, and then he's like, he takes all the dragons and let's go burn Burke to the ground because fuck these guys. And he goes Toothless, or he's dead, emotional moment. He goes and flies all the way. They chase him back to Burke, and like there's this moment where Toothless like comes like seconds to dying, and then, or not Toothless, Hiccup comes seconds to dying, and then Toothless challenges the alpha for being an alpha and starts becoming an alpha, and fucks up the big guy because of his bond with Hiccup. And then the fight's over. What's his name is thrown in jail or killed or whatever. And Hiccup now has to take up the role as chieftain because his dad's dead. And his dad's the chief. And it's like this long story. And now part 3's coming. And I'm hyped.
So Hiccup's a chieftain with an alpha dragon.
Essentially.
Interesting. This sounds like a cool series.
So like it's again, we're gonna sit down and watch them tomorrow.
God damn it.
I'm renting them. I'm renting them. I've already rented them
on Amazon. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna sit down and watch them.
You're gonna have to send me your Amazon login because I got Prime back and I logged out and I forgot your password.
It's okay. We can just
Do it
give
on
to
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And,
interesting. That's
like it's just like serious, and then now it's not him as like a young adult; it's him as a full adult, like doing whatever. It looks like he's exploring more, and there's a Toothless now. He got the girl Astrid. You know, it's like Toothless is taking his girl, and like he's another Night Fury, well, Light Fury, I guess. You know, like one of the I was just like happy because it was like the scene of like Toothless Hiccup in the back like egging like Toothless like, oh, do this to she'll like this, and like Toothless just looking back at him and then just doing a wacky thing, and then the dragon just being confused.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm hyped. I love this series.
That's interesting. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I've never watched those movies, so I'll check them out. It sounds interesting. I feel like I'll enjoy them. There's a lot of interesting things happening movie-wise, I think. And I like it. I dig it, and some of it I'm like, eh. So let's see how it ends up in the end. So we got a couple more things I want to talk about before we end the podcast. And one of the big ones that I wanted to bring up. Have you guys been keeping up with the meme ban in the EU?
The what?
They're banning memes in the EU.
As it goes.
In the EU.
Yeah, European.
How do they define a meme?
So basically, they're doing what YouTube's doing to creators now, in that if you make the meme, you can post it, but nobody else can touch it. Is basically what's happening. And they don't really define what constitutes you using it. So, like, if it's shared on your page with a like or a retweet,
What is
it's
this
considered
on?
copyright
Like,
infringement.
On what? On what platform?
Everything.
Oh.
It's really broad and weird, but it's very much like, I don't know how to feel about it.
It sounds like some dumb shit.
It is. It's very stupid. It's just like,
Are they killing each other with dabs over there or something? I mean, what's going on?
I mean, dabs do kill. Let's be
Apparently, the
honest.
Tide Pod eating contest really got serious over it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just strange. What do you? I can't. I feel like the U.S. would do some shit like that. To be honest.
Oh, it's gonna happen. 2019.
Now, yeah, probably.
2019. It'll go into full effect.
And I'm sorry for this abrupt cut and ending for the podcast. So from this point on, the podcast audio completely cuts out, and then eventually the screen freezes as well, and everything just goes to shit, which there's only about, I think, 20 or 30 minutes more that you guys missed. To be honest, I don't actually remember no, actually I lied. There's a good hour more that unfortunately did not record properly because fuck XSplit. But I'm sorry for that. This is very much the inaugural episode. This is the trial and error phase of this podcast. It is something very new and very different, and we are trying our hardest to make it something incredible. So it's very much one of those things where you're going to have to bear with us. And it'll be great when it does get to a point where I can say I'm really proud of it. For right now, I am pretty proud of it. I think it's going to be something interesting and incredible if I can get it the way I want it. And by if, I mean when I can get it the way I want it. So with that being said, I'm sorry you guys missed some pretty good conversation. There was some good stuff that we ended up talking about right in the end. And there was a funny moment, but that you guys will never see, unfortunately. But that's fine. Or hear, I should say. But with that, I want to thank you all so much for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. This is kind of an experiment. And it's like the redux of a previous experiment I did over a year ago of having a podcast. And this time I'm doing it my way. And it's either going to rise from the ashes and be something incredible, or it's going to burn up in the atmosphere as it comes down to Earth. But with that being said, it's going to be a journey. This background, this moving background and stuff is not going to be permanent. There will be something made, hopefully by the next one. If not, it'll be in the next couple. There will be a lot of different guests. There will be a lot of different people coming in and out. The way I want this is to kind of be a self-sustaining show where I don't even have to be here, and something will get recorded and done if I so choose for that to happen. There will be a lot of people who are in many of the episodes, like Scoots and Dustin will probably be the most recurring people, as well as some other people that I've asked to come on. So yeah, that's going to do it for this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, new to the series, make sure to subscribe down below. Don't forget to check the description for everybody's links for all of their stuff. Don't forget to share this. Share this as much as possible. I want this to get a lot of airplay. I want a lot of people to know about this, to see what I'm trying to do here, to very much start something interesting, because I myself enjoy and partake in a lot of podcasts, and I really do love this side of entertainment, and it's something I've always wanted to do, and it's something that I'm now doing because I am in this very inspirational and or I should say I'm in this very inspired and incredible place, and I really want to share that with the world. So thank you all. Please bear with me as we go through the motions and really figure out a process that works properly. Also, for those of you watching this wondering where the live streams are, I'm going to be gone for one more week, and then I'll come back in a big way. Maybe 2 weeks. We'll see. But, yeah. I will see you all in the very next episode of whatever I make. Ta-ta for now.